Welcome to Ignite Success. I'm Snowden McFall, your host, 25-year professional speaker, 6-time author, and coach. And with me today is Karen Coleman. She is Director of Corporate Health and Women's Health Strategy at Baptist Health. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you.
So, Karen, I know you've had an interesting career in the health industry. Tell us all the various different things you've done through the years.
Sure. I'm going about 18 years in the healthcare industry. I started first with state and federal programs, working for the health department, University of Florida, different varieties there. And after about 10 years stint in that, I switched over to Baptist about 10 years ago. And it's been wonderful. I grew up there doing corporate health, and now I'm starting to do women's health strategy.
Which is wonderful. And I know you have a big event coming up this week.
We do.
Tell us about that.
It's this Thursday, October 17th at TPC, and it's called Women with Drive, How to Get in the Game. And the whole focus is how to connect keeping your health strong so you can continue to be in the game, whether it be at home or at work, and making sure that you always take your seat at the table. Even if you're not asked, look for your seat.
Oh, that's excellent. That's awesome. I think a lot of women need to know that because they don't stand up for themselves enough. They don't speak up at the table. They're not taking enough good care of themselves.
Correct.
So one of the things I know about you is you love to learn and read.
I do.
And you were sharing with me about a great new book called No Ego.
Correct.
Can you share about that?
Yeah, I picked it up about 3 years ago. It's a person, her name is Cy Wakeman. She's the author, and her whole focus is how to get your ego out of yourself when you're working or you have a personal relationship, and just deal with the facts. A lot of times when we're at work or we're having something going on at home, we're prone to tell ourselves stories about why something is happening. We see something happen and we assume A, B, and C. And her whole thing is how to have healthy mental processes to get ahead at work, to get ahead at home, and really just focus, what is your part in this story? Is the story true?
Right. I know Brene Brown often references that too, because when she suggests that in your rumbles, your tough conversations, that you say to the other person, the story I'm making up about this is, because we do. I think we do. And women also, because of our greater emotional intelligence, tend to put our hearts into things, whereas sometimes it's not appropriate.
It's not.
Right.
And her whole focus is, we are relational. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But sometimes that keeps us back from our best self. So how do you get your mental processes to catch up so you can be your best self in all situations?
So throughout your career, are there any particular mistakes you've made that you would recommend to other women not to make? Because we're trying to help everybody not make the same mistakes. I know I've made a ton, and I've learned from all of them.
Absolutely. I make mistakes constantly. I continually make them. The biggest mistake is to not let the mistake stop you.
Right.
And a lot of times when you make a mistake, you do a lot of self-talk. I'm not the right person for this job. So-and-so would be better. They were right. And one thing that I believe Brene Brown says, if you go looking for what you think is wrong about yourself, you always find it.
Right.
So don't do that.
Right. Well, and I think that, at this conference I was in California, several of the speakers talked about how on social media, the haters.
Yes.
And that there's always critics. And the good way to have no critics is to do nothing in your life. And that haters are really people who are fascinated by you, but they're confused. Because if they truly couldn't stand you, they wouldn't even bother following you.
Absolutely.
So I think that people get very confused about that. And I think that we tend to, as women, be so hard on ourselves.
Absolutely.
And then we make one mistake, we think we're done. We catastrophize about it, and it goes to the wrong. And when it's just, you see men make mistakes all the time. They just brush it off and they move on. So I think that's really an important lesson.
That's a piece that we can actually learn from them. And because of the way we're built, women and men are different. That's okay. But if we want to continue to get ahead, that's what we need to do.
Absolutely. I think that's a really, really important thing. So you've learned from a lot of wonderful women through the years. Who has inspired you in this community?
There's been several. Most recently, my mentor that brought me to Baptist, Beth Mahaffey, she was recently our SVP of HR at Baptist. She's now retired. She helped me believe myself early on. And one of my favorite stories is she helped recruit me to Baptist, but she had someone call and say, would you be interested in this position, or do you know anybody interested in this position? Sorry for 10 people.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize she was asking me. And finally, when I came to my interview, she said, you remember that I was asking you.
So that's really important too.
One.
So think of ourselves.
Absolutely.
When somebody's saying, do you know of anybody? Think of ourselves and advocate for ourselves.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of us don't advocate for ourselves and speak up for ourselves. So I think that's important too.
Absolutely.
And who else inspires you?
And my most recent boss, her name is Katherine Graham, and she's actually was good friends with Beth. And as I was growing in Baptist, she noticed some things about me, believed in me again, and that's helped me along the way. And that's another part of my philosophy, even with the women's strategy, is look who's around you. Right. Always try to bring someone up along with you. There's enough sunshine for everyone. So
there is. The pie is big enough for everybody.
Absolutely.
And I think what you just said is so important, that we all need to be bringing up other women,
Absolutely.
Serving as role models and reaching out to encourage other women, and particularly those who are younger than us, to come up and be involved and encourage them to take their seat at the table.
Absolutely.
Because that succession planning is equally important. Well, we're looking forward to your event on Thursday. I will be there. What's it called again?
It's called Women with Drive, How to Get in the Game.
All right, terrific. And how can they find out about that?
They can look on the Baptist Health website and check us out on Eventbrite through our social media pages.
Terrific. Thanks so much for being with us, Karen.
Appreciate it.